have enough to get past them, I would think, and some.
Thoughts, GM?
As Jaffa says, you're not going to get any mugs at this level. There's a reason why we're at this standard, and you're going to have to beat a good team to get into that Champions League like we did last year. So I'm confident with the first tie, and you see your draw and see if it gets favourable for that, if you like, that qualifying game. But no, I'm hoping we should get past either of them two sides.
You got his favourites, Linda?
Yeah, I think so. Particularly to get through this third round qualifier, and then obviously the playoff match. It's going to be a tough game, Ox, for sure. But I'd be confident. I would back us to definitely get through the third round qualifier anyway.
Okay, and then we'll see where it takes us. Listen, we've had some technical issues at the start of the show. That's why we've not opened the phone lines. The boys have been beavering away in the background. I know where I go, Fox. He's got to limber up. He's got to build himself up to the season. But he's sorted it now, Jaffa.
Good. I can always rely on Fox. He knows his stuff. Once it comes to, X equals Y squared and all that stuff, he knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Aye, he does. Well done, Fox. Well done. I think we've been joined by Gary. Evening, Gary.
How we doing, Ox? You alright, mate?
Aye.
Good stuff.
What's on your mind, mate?
Not much, just hearing these chatting away about the new signings and the pre-season. I went to the Newcastle game. I travelled up for it. Went with my old dad, so it was good. Went into Edmondson House, which was good. So, give my feedback on that. I think it's just a shame. It seems a wee bit small, but I don't know whether the planning permission they could have went 2 or 3 times the size of what they did. But I think planning permission they probably have to keep it the same footprint as what the previous building was, I would imagine.
Aye. Listen, it's became an asset, GM. I know you were in there on Saturday. It's somewhere to go. It's made money into the club. It's all positive, eh?
Yeah, it was my first time being in there on Saturday. I must say, I was very impressed. I agree with Gary there. Obviously, I think you could build it as big as you wanted to. You could see there was people waiting to get in when I was trying to get in there after the game. I just thought just after, but the queues of people buying drinks, and which else I think is good is obviously got people taking their kids or that to the game. That's somewhere they can go and enjoy a beer after as well and meet up with people. But no, all positive, and I think that's going to be a real asset this season.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on the game, Gary?
What, the Newcastle game?
The team.
Both games. Well, the Newcastle game was a wee bit flat. I think it was what it was. It was a friendly match, a training game, but it was nice. Nothing to get excited about really. It was just nice seeing some of the players getting a run out. Nice seeing McGregor hanging his gloves up. They got a good reception, didn't they? And it was nice to see the fans staying back as late as what they did. At that time of night, especially, none of the subway crew kind of headed off early. Some of them did, but the overwhelming vast majority of fans stayed back and gave them the reception they deserved. And that was the most important thing for me. That, and just watching some of the players. I grew up as a goalie, so I like Butland. I think Butland's already shown enough that he can fill the jersey. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts to a mistake or something like that if one comes or when one comes. That'll be telling. But I think it'll be big enough. I think it'll be absolutely fine.
All right. You must be enjoying Matondo's performances pre-season.
I don't want to be too hard on the boy because he is just a boy. That's the thing. He's 21 years old. He's moved country. He's on a big contract. We've all been told. That's got to weigh heavy on you as a young boy. But you're right in what you're saying, mate. You can't get away from the fact that he's starting position. Professional football players know what they're doing, and if you know the game and you're at the game, you can watch what players are doing, and taking up different positions and all that. So I don't know if the shot's a wee bit too big for him, or a wee bit too heavy for him, if you like, because I think he's obviously a confidence player, and he looks totally empty of confidence. So he won't get much time with Beale. If Beale's not happy, he'll just ship him. He'll be gone. He'll just write up the losses. The problem is getting rid of him because of the money he's getting paid. If he's on 30, 35 grand and he's on a 4-year contract and he's got 3 years left on that contract or whatever, who's going to take him? Who's going to pay him that same money? So that's where you're going to have a problem.
Yep.
So you just have to try and coach him. Bill has to try and work with him. The boy's got something. He's got something there, but can Bill improve him enough to be able to play for Rangers? That's the key. That's the difference.
I think it's a classic. Somebody being a decent player at 17, and then when they get immense football, Jaffa, nah.
That's kind of how it looks, Ox, isn't it? That's exactly how it looks. I mean, he was at Man City's academy. I can't remember the German team. I know we've spoken about this before that he went to. Who signed him? Schalke. Thanks, Gary. How are you doing, Gary, by the way? Yeah, Schalke, I think it was about 11 million euros or something they signed him for. Staggering number, but yeah, and you forget he is only 21, but I'm like you. I think he's a confidence player and he's got the pace that he's got. He could probably beat most people in the park over 100 metres. But you've got to have ability, and one thing, and more importantly, as a professional footballer, you've got to have a first touch. And I've yet to see that first touch. I've never actually saw him take a ball down out of the sky and kill it dead at his foot. It just seems to either bounce 2 yards to the left or 2 yards to the right or into the goalie's hands. That happened on Saturday, and I guess at that level of football, you just don't get that kind of time to do that. It's one touch and bang it in the back of the net, and that's kind of where we are nowadays. And if you go to the next level up and you start talking Champions League, last 16, it's not even one touch anymore. It's just banging the back of the net. That's the kind of standard that you're aiming for.
See when that ball was played into him, no, but I would have done Jaffa.
What's that?
I would have turned running back, heeled it in. Yeah, but aye. Listen, don't worry about going. We'll see what it takes. I don't think we'll see much of him, but it's getting him out the door. Gary, new players, what's your thoughts? Apart from Butland.
Right, here's a massive statement for you, right? I hate mentioning them in the same breath because obviously he's not anywhere near that same sort of player, but Lammers looks like a Laudrup type of player to me. I think the boy's got tremendous potential.
What, you mean a big mop of hair?
Aye, it just looks like him. He carries himself like him. He's just got finesse. He never looks panicked. I think he's all the players that I like for different reasons. The only one I've got doubts on is the Ibra, the Seamer boy up front. I've not seen enough of him really. Don't think they've tasted enough in the final third to judge him yet. But Diggle, I love it, man. They're just getting flying right into tackles. The other night against Hamburg, I think it was 3, one after the other. He just would not give up. Now, if he's doing that in a nothing friendly game, right, which is going to be like really large when we're playing against Setter.
Oh, the sound's breaking up there, Gary. I'll cut across you. Listen, now we'll get the technical stuff sorted. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Are you back with us, Gary? You all right there?
I am, yeah. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, sound good. Lammers, Laudrup, wow. Glue, drugs, drink, Linda.
Gary, I hope that's true what you're saying. I hope that prediction comes true. Because
it would be nice
if that's true, Jack Butland will be getting kicked too. Carry on, Linda.
Yeah, that's true. That'll be the next cardboard cutout. I would agree with you, Gary. I think he's looked a good player. He looks comfortable on the ball, doesn't he? And he's got that kind of a kind of air about him, isn't he? He kind of just glides kind of forward. And he obviously took his goal well against Newcastle too. And he's probably one of the players that has kind of stood out And the boy Diggle kind of came under the radar as well, Gary, didn't he? He was the kind of first signing, not a lot of chat about him, but he looks as if he likes to, get stuck in about it. But Lammers definitely, let's hope that if he can even be half the player Laudrup was, we'll be doing all right, Gary, I think.
Aye.
Wow, bold statement for Gary there, JM.
Yeah, I think if he's half the player, we're going to do very well, aren't we? But no, I definitely agree. He looks really comfortable on the ball, some nice touches, creative passing, good vision, also big and strong, which unfortunately you need to be in the league we play in. So, no, all looking positive, I must admit. No, excited to see more of him and see how he gets on when he gets a few more games under his belt. Yeah,
I get what you're saying, Gary. I don't think you're comparing it to Brian Laudrup, but you said the similarities. Is that fair?
That's exactly it.
I get it.
I'm definitely not putting them in the same bracket. Nowhere near it. Laudrup is a god. Lammers is nowhere near that. But when certain things he does on the pitch reminds me of the big man.
Jaffa?
I can see that, Gary. Yep. I'm not saying I had a similar thought. I didn't, but I do know what you mean. He's got a particular movement. His technique. He's very, very easy on the eye. He obviously takes great position. I think his reading of the game's really good. He sees stuff that's happening 2 or 3 passes before it's happening. I think he done that against Newcastle. He picked their pocket. That's a great quality to have. Any player that can have that vision and see that happening, especially in a number 10 kind of role. But I totally see what your point. Yeah, I know where you're coming from. I hope you're right, and I hope he fulfills that. And if he can chip in with double figures in goals or 15 goals or whatever for the season and contribute, then it's been a great signing and it's been a great bit of business by Michael Beale, hasn't it?
Lammers and Laudrup, you and Brad Pitt and Seville. I can see the similarities, Jaffa, yeah.
Oh, easy.
I can see it. No? The comment, Jaffa, no?
Oh, absolutely. I can, especially for the side on.
So, we'll see what it takes us. What's your thinking that the starting 11 would be in the first league game, Gary? What are you thinking?
Right. Goalkeeper picks himself. I don't think it's a shame McCrory's not going to be first choice this season. I think he's going to start second choice. I've seen John McLaughlin walk past me. He looked a sorry figure when I was sitting in Edmondson House. I think he's probably looking for a way at the club. Anyway, Tavernier right back, Suter and Balogun. I think to start with Balogun. I think Davis has slipped in this pecking order as well. I don't think the young boy who's injured will be back either. I think Yilmaz is going to get the shout. I think Borner's lost his place as well. I think he's just trying to shake it up. I think Raskin is the holding player. Cantwell and Lammers. And then front three, I'd go... I don't know. It depends who was playing still, but right now I'd probably be playing Bessels, Sakala, and somebody right. I don't know who is right. I'll leave right for you.
You go with Hadji, throw him in there, yeah?
Nah, he's just. I like the boy, but he's just way off the starting 11 at the moment. He's got to fight his way back in.
Okay, I don't think Balogun will start, mate. I don't think he'll start.
I don't know. If Goldson's back fit, he starts. But if he's not fit, I don't know if Davis starts ahead of Balogun. But Balogun the other night, mate, was good. He didn't do anything wrong. The only thing you had against him is his age. But if he's like Davy Weir, he never held his age against him. He was good enough. And if you're good enough, you're young enough to put a phrase opposite with him.
I tell you, Dave, just for you. We'll hear from Sam Lammers, yeah?
And another friendly for the squad this afternoon. What did you make of that game today?
I think it was a good test again. A lot of players made a lot of minutes, so some players coming back from injury, which is always nice to see. And we're getting the rhythm. We won a game. Of course, it's a friendly game, but this is also nice. And we have a lot of things to improve as well, which was clear. But this is no problem. We're in pre-season, so it was a good night.
Yeah, and for you personally, some more minutes for yourself. How did you find it?
It was good. It was not bad. I think me personally, I played an okay match. I could do better in some moments, but we're getting to know the players, getting to know each other, also the new players. So this is good. And I know we can do much better, but we have to show this next game again.
And how have you found this period, sort of settling in with the squad and like you say, getting to know your teammates here?
Very good. I think the training camp in Germany has been important as well, to get to know everybody personally as well outside of football. So it has been good. We have some more games to really get ready for the season, because first games are already really important. We want to play Champions League. We want to be on top in the competitions. So I feel like we're getting there. We're getting ready for it.
Yeah, and it must be quite an exciting time to obviously be part of the squad and all be learning together and growing together as well.
Yeah, like I said, this season there's some new players who have to get into the team, but I think it brings also new energy for the team, for the club, and I think you can see we have a lot of potential, a lot of quality in the team, but now we have to make sure that we can show this quality on the pitch.
Right, thanks for that, folks. JM, is it only us that puts a lot of importance on pre-season? Do we kid ourselves on a bit?
I don't think so. I think fans have got a right to, if you like, say what they see and put it on. I don't think the results are ever important. I think you see, especially last pre-season, we had a couple of good results, and the one before the results don't count for much, but you can tell a lot by a player of their attitude, their touches, how they apply themselves. So I think the fans have got every right to put pressure on how the players can, if you like, conduct themselves when they get their minutes on the pitch. Because unfortunately, when the season starts, you don't get a lot of time to prove yourself. The games come thick and fast, and the fans want to see people trying from the start.
Standards, Linda?
Yeah, definitely, Ox. And sometimes first impressions, they go a long way, and fans kind of remember how players start. But Lammers is right in the fact that he said it was a good test and it's about getting minutes in the legs. But we have seen in the past when we perhaps didn't have a lot of new players in the way that we started pre-season, they didn't look the best, and they kind of carried that into the league for them. So we've probably got a wee bit of scar tissue regarding that. But I think with this time, it's about all the new players coming in, trying to gel. As we said earlier, he'll be trying to find the best combinations for certain games. I think I'm really looking forward to the new season, and as I said earlier, we're optimistic, but it is early doors. But Sam Lammers, he spoke very well, Ox, didn't he? And he was right about the Germany camp as well. A lot of good work was done over there. And it is about getting to know them, isn't it? And some of them have come in at different stages of their pre-season as well, Ox, in terms of the signings. So we've kind of got to take that into consideration as well, haven't we?
Yeah. The boy Dessers looks as if he could do a bit more work, Jeff, innit?
I think so, Ox. Yeah, I mean, I suspect he's probably been, I think there was a lot of waiting about when that transfer taking place. No doubt he'd been bubbling away in the background, and that does cause players to get, they're never sure what's going to happen. And their future's up in the air. But and obviously he'd been relegated with the Italian team, Cremonese. So obviously he was seeking a move. So I agree, Ox. He looks a couple of weeks behind in pre-season. And I know he's probably trying to catch up. And the one good thing I have to be honest, Oxley, overall, the pre-season, I'm so glad that they were only away for a week or 8 or 9 days, whatever it was, in Germany. And the majority of the work has been done back here at the training camp in Glasgow. Because that I think creates a better bond with the players coming in and out. And I think it makes the players settle a lot quicker as well, get them on with each other, because there has been a big changeover. You know, already 8 players coming in, a lot of players have left. So I think that's been really important this pre-season. So I think you'll never really get a true judge on that until we sit after say 8 or 9 or 10 games in the league, where you go, right, we're in a great position now, you know, we can motor on, we've got a rhythm, and we're up and running. You know, we're sitting top of the league, and that ultimately is all that really matters, and we're in the Champions League, because the short-term goals, that's what they are, you know, to get a really good start in the league and create a system and a team, you know, tactics, a strategy, and a play. The way we're going to play is really important, because you know, I think where a lot of us are sitting by in the outside waiting for that to take place and see what's going to unfold with the kind of players that he's signed and some of the players that he might still sign.
All right, we've reached that time of the evening. Get yourself in mute, because we're going to have a tune.
On Flesher's Haw, down by the Clyde, 4 teenage lads did propose to form their own wee football team. The idea there arose. Way back then, how could they know that millions they would love the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club. A debt we owe, we cannot pay those gallant pioneers. A legacy they did bestow, we shared down through the years. To Moses and those fine young lads, our gratitude we'll show. We'll sing our song with heart and voice, and let the whole world know. The Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club. Come join as one and toast to all who share our history. Toast William Struth, a noble man, I'm sure you will agree. Lest we forget our absent friends, they watch from up above. In life and death will always be with Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, we're back.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. What did the third strip come out? I've no spoke to you all about it. What's your thoughts on the strip? Do you like it, JM?
Yeah, I think it's a belter. I think this might be the best collection of shirts Castore have done with us. To be honest, I don't really know how they get any better from there. The home one looked good as well, but what I did notice, I went to go get this shirt on Friday. I noticed that every kid was walking out with Cantwell on the back.
Cantwell. Well, I get it. He's the star of the show, for being honest, at the moment. That's what happens. Yeah. Jaffa?
Yeah, I agree. I think they're three crackers, absolute crackers. I love the shade of blue, that shade of royal blue. I really like it in the home kit. I know that's trivial for a lot of people, but for me it's really important that we're in royal blue. And I like the white away top. I always think my top looks good with red, white and blue and a white, and I like the kind of nod to the 80s top, and I like the orange and blue one, the 93-94 top. I think it's a cracker. I absolutely agree. I think they're three belters. I think they should just keep doing that every year and just use the same taps, because that's what we want, isn't it?
There's a problem with your marketing, Linda.
No, I would agree with GM. I think they're the best sort of combination of three that they've produced to date, probably the Castore boys. I like the blue and the orange Ox. I think it's really smart. I think it's one of the fast.
Is it no orange and blue?
Orange and blue, yeah. Okay, orange and blue. I think it's the fastest selling one as well, isn't it? They said out with the home top. So, yes, I really like it. Very, very smart.
All right. Talking about very, very smart, we couldn't find anybody but we joined the GB. Evening, GB.
There's me putting on my best shirt tonight, too. How is all doing?
It must be the Gary gang tonight. Every call is called Gary.
I know. As soon as I heard there was another Gary on, I've got to get on. You mean? I've got to match it up. And
I think you got a wee announcement for Rangers Radio.
I have, mate. I have. Just first of all, I just want to say it's good to hear that some new blood on the show as well. Welcome, JM. I hope we've organised that ice bath for next week for the initiation. I hope that's all booked in.
If it's 5 asides, trust me, I'll need an ice bath.
Aye, so we've got a wee announcement. One of our panellists came. Been doing so well with the kind of charity work behind the scenes, and we've came up with a wee idea to get the listeners involved and hopefully all the panellists as well.
All the panellists, aye.
So it's called Last Man Standing or Women Standing, since we're in the 21st century. And the idea behind it is basically we're going to go with the Scottish Premiership League games and the Championship League games, and we're going to offer it out that each weekend, the full fixture calendar, including your Fridays and your Mondays, you pick one team from the league for a win. So, like say, if it's, for talking say, it's Rangers versus Celtic, and we pick Rangers, and it's a win, then you continue on to the next week. But if we lost, then that's you. You're out. And
what happens if we draw, mate?
If we draw, that goes as a loss as well. So,
tough
I know we're going to be brutal here, mate. We want to get to a winner. The whole thing behind it, Ox, is just that we're looking for a £5 entry fee, and we're looking to hopefully put half of that money towards charity that's collected, and the other half will go to the ultimate winner, the last woman or man standing.
I'll count me in. I've got one ambition. I don't care how far I get as long as I beat Southside.
One other note to add, Ox, is that if you do, like I says, pick your favourite team to start off with, you can't pick them again. So, like I says, if we pick Rangers and they win, that's you. You've had your shot with Rangers. You need to move on to another team. Then you don't get a chance to use Rangers again.
Linda, you're going to need a bit of strategy with us, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to work out my strategy just now, Ox.
Right. Carry on, GB, carry on.
Aye, so if you're interested, so that goes out to the panellists and the listeners. If you are interested in taking part, we're going to obviously start it for the start of the season. So we are looking to try and get the names in as soon as possible. So if you want to join us, it's if you email us at RangersRadio@gmail.com. Let us know if you are interested, and we'll get back to you, and we'll start taking the names of your teams each week as the season goes on, and we'll keep you updated. Hopefully, I think Hawks, we're probably looking to keep them updated after every week, weekend games basically. So probably from the Tuesday onwards, we'll keep an update of who's in and who's out.
I told you one ambition I've got with it. One ambition. Sounds easy, doesn't it, JM?
Yep, definitely sounds easy. And after the show, I'll just get Southside's number if that's all right, just so I know who to go against.
Jeff, a bit of fun as well. There'll be a bit of
Absolutely.
A bit of
Absolutely.
fun and a bit of banter, yeah.
Yeah, and some money to charity and stuff. That's always good. So, yep, count me in as well, GB. I'll obviously talk to you privately, and you can tell me how we can swindle it, please.
Yeah, it's called a magic pencil.
And how do you pay your money?
So you'll pay it directly to us, Hawks. I think we'll sort it out through the Rangers Radio
PayPal
account. Aye, that's what I was trying to get to. I couldn't remember what to say up there. So we'll take it through that, the PayPal account. So it's all registered and everything's above board, and then that way that what it says we'll finally get our winner, and what it says we'll decide in due course what charity that we all kind of want to vote for and put it towards.
It could last 3 weeks and everybody's out and we start again, or it could go on all season if people kept getting scores right. Yeah.
I could, Docs, aye. And I think if we do use up, like I say, if we go through nearly all the games, then we can now obviously look to expand it into other leagues or whatever. So we'll see how it goes.
Bit of fun. That's allowed, Jeff, for it.
Absolutely, 100%. Great idea, Gary. And obviously it'll be good to get some of the listeners involved as well, which will be really good fun as the weeks move on.
Yeah. It means we can all have a go at beating Southside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll be listening intently to that Super 6 every week now. So we'll be stealing a wee bits and bobs from that.
I've got to give you credit where it's due, mate. I was up with the Super 6 because I cashed out.
Oh, right. Okay, so now we know that you're the dark horse to watch for in this competition, then, eh?
Southside's predicting it won't go by 10 weeks. That means it'll be done in a fortnight.
Well, on that note, like I says, I know Keepies, the show's been really good tonight, good points and stuff like that, and like I says, it's good to hear new voices on the show. So I'll let you get back to it, and like I says, listeners, if you are interested, please email the RangersRadio@gmail.com, and we hope to get you involved soon. Cheers.
GB, can you come back on Friday and get another shout out?
Of course, mate, will do.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, bye.
That's good, the young GB taking up that cudgel, Linda. Bit of fun.
Yes, absolutely. Well done, GB. Fantastic.
Yep. Right, okay, so look, there's a lot happening at the club. I'm predicting Danilo tomorrow. What do you think, JM?
Sorry, say that again? Broke up a little bit.
I'm predicting Danilo tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it was quite confident something was going to happen in a couple of days when he said from Saturday. So I think we'll be getting some news within the next 24 hours or so.
Yeah. An striker, but who's leaving is Linda?
Yeah, I don't know, Ox. Do you think one maybe out the door to help fund that transfer? Because we've obviously had to go to reportedly £6 million for him. Some rumours, I don't know about Glenn Kamara, but there was quite a few chat today whether that's a wee bit further down the road now. We've not heard much again about Scott Wright. He was supposed to be maybe perhaps going as well, wasn't he? So I don't know, there might be maybe one out, one in.
Yeah, maybe two out. One in Jaffa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's some movement still to take place. We obviously, I know there's all the chats mainly around about the incomings, Ox. You know, the boy from the States, Cifuentes, and which obviously I know I heard you chatting on the show at the weekend. That's a done deal. We know we've got him. He's our player. It's signed. He's on a pre-contract, so he's coming. But they're trying to get it over the line now, and by all accounts, Michael Beale seems to be very confident that's going to happen. And obviously, the big one's the Brazilian boy Danilo, which on the surface of it, Ox looks like that's where we're spending the big chunk of our budget. He looks a tasty he looks a tasty player, but obviously you can never tell until you see somebody with a scarf above their head and in the flesh with a blue jersey on. But I think there's a bit of outgoings as well to happen. I think there's a few more bits of movement to take place.
Predictions, Jaffa.
I think there's a possibility that Ridvan or Fashion Junior may be on their way. That would be my call.
Ooh, Ridvan. Ooh. Does that improve our team, Jaffa?
Probably weakens us a bit at the back, but I think if we got an offer on either of those two players and it was of decent money, Ox, I mean, there's still lots of murmurings about coming out of Turkey about Ridvan wanting to get back home. So that one wouldn't surprise me. Fashion Junior again, if like we were chatting earlier on, if the right offer came in and it was a £3 or £4 million offer, considering we got him on a free, he's at that stage of his contract where we probably would take it and move him on. And I think he would be an attractive move to a lot of teams down south. Fashion Sakala.
My thinking with the outgoings, Cheyenne was Glenn Kamara and Scott Wright initially.
Yeah, I think they're both 90% certain to go. I mean, I think Beale said Kamara had been a little ill, which is why he's not been there, but he's not even been mentioned in half the thoughts. I know there was rumours of Leeds coming in for him, so I think he'll be gone. I think he'll be popular for a lot of Championship, maybe even lower level Premier League clubs, and I know Scott Wright's definitely, well, as you saw on Sky Sports, he's exploring his options. So there's two guys that would maybe free up a few wages to get him in.
You live in interesting times, Linda.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of Scott Wright, I think it'd be best for all parties if he did move on. He's just never really fulfilled his potential, really, and I think we were talking about, we've brought in players that are of a higher quality, hopefully, Ox. No, disrespect to Scott. He's going away scoring a goal in a Scottish Cup final and playing in a European final as well. So he'll in a championship medal as well in terms of 55. So he's done all right. And Glenn Kamara has just lost his way the last year to maybe 18 months, apart from the Europa League run. And it is time for Glenn to move on. And if we get a few million for him, Ox, that'll be a good bit of business, considering, it hardly cost us anything.
How much would you take for Glenn Kamara?
Probably 4 million even for him. I don't know if we'll get as much as that, but 4 million would be a good bit of business, I think.
I think that's fair. His pedigree, Jeff.
Yeah, I think that was the numbers that were bandied about from Leeds that they were prepared to pay was about 4 million, and I think that's a good bit of business. And I mean, everything that Linda said is I echo completely. I mean, Glenn on his days a tremendous player, nice fella. I wish him well. But obviously, I don't think he sees himself at Ibrox any longer, and that's what happens with certain kids, and he wants to make a move, and he maybe wants to get back down south to near his family, and that's fair enough. Wish him nothing but the best, but he's a good player, Glenn Kamara, and again, in a maybe the Scottish League, it's fast, it's high tempo. Maybe moving to a league that's a wee bit slower pace, but I'm not sure the Championship's that league, Ox. That's just as high a tempo as what it is in Scotland.
Yeah, Cheyenne.
I think both Glenn Kamara and Scott Wright now haven't conducted themselves well enough. I mean, it's been a shame what's happened in the last year to Glenn Kamara. I mean, I know we're talking about 4 million now, but if anyone told me that we were going to sell Glenn Kamara and to be for less than 10 after that game he played away at PSV last season, I would have been shocked. But Be interesting to see if we ever found out what happened, if it was just unhappy or picked up a couple of knocks or what, because that game he played in that Champions League qualifying round last season, he was the best man on the pitch by a mile.
Yeah. You're up against the guys with a lot of pedigree in the opposition.
Yeah, against class actually thought they should be in the Champions League with their own right. You know, I believe they had a player that thought he was too good for us and didn't sign for us. And then Kamara made them all look pretty average on the night, especially in the first half, the way he conducted the game and whatever. But maybe, as Jaffa says, maybe that's the difference in pace in the game that you get. I mean, you don't get that sort of time at Rugby Park, for example, do you, on the ball?
No, but they'll both go with their best wishes, as you say, the way they've conducted themselves. And also, as Linda said, Scott Wright's goal in the cup final and the swing of Glenn Kamara's boot.
Well, it was the pair of them that combined for that goal in the semi-final, wasn't it? Scott Wright laid it off.
Yeah.
Kamara
Scott Wright ruled it off and Kamara swung his boot. So, we'll see. That's what I think will happen. Jaffa, maybe that could be 3 or 4 then, get out the door, huh?
Well, as I said, Ox, we're probably only picking up what I'm seeing on socials and stuff like that. I've got no substance to the Red Van. I'm only telling you what's coming out of some of the news agencies in Turkey and stuff like that. And some of them are credible. So I don't know, but definitely, as the lads and Linda were saying there, Glenn Kamara and Scott Wright definitely are 90% gone. They're probably, I would imagine, finalising contracts as we speak now. But the other lads are up in the air, and there's been no offers on them. And obviously, I would rather us focus on the incomings, but you have to be realistic as well, Ox. And as Linda was saying, the squad again all of a sudden looks a bit bloated. If we've got Cifuentes coming in, we've got Danilo coming in. If all being well, it gets over the line and we can get that done in the next 24 hours, then we've got another 2 additions to the squad. We can't keep everybody happy, Ox, can we?
You're spot on, mate. It's about striking the balance, and it's up to the manager. He'll live and die with who comes in and who stays, Linda.
Yeah, definitely, Ox. He's obviously had a good wee bit of pre-season now to assess the squad. He's made it no secret that he likes the boy Danilo, and Cifuentes has obviously been on the radar for a while. As Jaffa says, well, he's coming here in a free, it'll be obviously January, but he would like to get him in just now. Is he a kind of more of a sitting midfielder? So is he maybe going to give Raskin a bit of support in there, maybe push Raskin up a wee bit? Be interested to see how that turns out. But yeah, as I say, the manager's been backed as well, hasn't he, Ox? We've spent quite a bit of money for us. Obviously, there was money to spend after a couple of good seasons in Europe. So yeah, it's quite interesting going forward, Ox, and lots of it looks on paper a very good squad if we get these 2 over the line. But I'm wondering as well, do you think we'll still look for a centre back, or do you think we're okay there now?
Well, what we got? Well, first choice would be Suter, Goldson, Davis, supported with Balogun. Is that fair, JM?
That sounds about right, doesn't it? Balogun, I think, has been brought in for that sort of the cover-all positions. I think it's a shame either Suter or Goldson, one of them, aren't left-footed, because I think ideally everyone would like the pair of them in there. But obviously I think Suter's done very well on the right-hand side, but I think over the last couple of years or so, with all the changes, that Goldson isn't for shifted to the left-hand side. So I'd probably say Davies gets in there because he's left-footed.
Does Goldson move John Suter in John Suter's form, in your opinion?
How do you define form? He looked good at the end of last season, pre-season, but we've just said we don't judge people on pre-seasons. He's looked better, but I think if you're playing your first game, I think the manager still plays Goldson at right centre-back.
All right, Jaffa?
Yeah, similar. And obviously the other one you've got to, the one that the manager commented on, Ox, was Big Johnny, as he's now affectionately known. Obviously he's also in that central centre back area. So He himself said he's given him food for thought, I think, which is exact words, something to think about. So to answer the question, he must be thinking that he doesn't need an extra centre back in there. If he's got that amount of cover and guys all vying for the same places. But I think when Golson's fit, I think Golson's number one. He is still, for me, the number one, and he is the one that I think looks the most comfortable, and we're most comfortable, and we're not leaking goals when Connor Golson's at the top end of his game. But like every injury, and coming back for Ox, you've got a long road ahead of you, and to get back to your form is sometimes the difficult part. He done it last season when he came back. I mean, he was only a couple of weeks in training, and he was back into the team, and he didn't look as though he'd been away, Big Connor. So I hope that happens again, and he strolls back into the team. And then I think every week if him and Suter are fit, I think that's your centre back pairing.
Yeah, Suter. He's got a bit of potential, but you need a bit of luck, and then getting combinations right and left, Linda. I know Balogun's no left-footed, but he's played in there a lot, so that's going to be interesting. If they're all fit, everybody's fit at the moment, and that's including Connor. Yeah, I get what people are saying, but would you prefer a left-sided player in there to give that balance, Linda?
Yeah, I think so, Ox. We've always kind of talked about that, haven't we? And Bridgeman's always saying that too. It just makes the play a bit easier, and the link-up play down that side is a bit more kind of fluid, isn't it? But I don't know. I mean, there's been a wee bit of doubt around Davies, and has he got the quality? But as I say, we know that they've made some mistakes in the past, but hopefully, they'll put that behind them. I've been impressed with John Suter. I know it is only like the pre-season friendlies, and let's hope that boy can keep injury-free, Ox, because if there's ever a player that deserves a bit of luck going forward with injuries, it's definitely John Suter, isn't it?
Yeah, can we congratulate John? I see his pictures of his new baby, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so congratulations, yeah.
Things are going off well for him off the park, guy.
Lovely.
And he is one of yours, Jaffa.
Yeah. He is. He's a nice big lad, Big John Suter. And he's got something about him. I hear a lot of the fellow fans chatting away in the round about you can hear them all talking about him. And the one thing that he does, he breaks the line up. He likes to get out. He's got a bit of skill about him as well, and he obviously sees a bit of vision and stretching back up the park and playing that ball out for the back. I think John Suter's more comfortable doing that, and I suspect that's one tactic that we're going to deploy as we move. It's not my favourite tactic, I'm not going to lie to you. But if you've got the personnel that can do it, then that makes it all the easier. And obviously the other defensive area that I know he's not a centre back certainly, is we've got big Dujon Stirling still to come into the team, who's obviously been out injured. We haven't really seen anything of him, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of quality he's going to bring to the team.
Yeah. All right, let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
GM, I've already mentioned Kemar Roof, who I thought his touches were nice at the weekend, yeah. But also great to see Tom Lawrence back, yeah.
Yeah, great to see him back. He was the shining light, if you like, at the start, coming out of pre-season and into the start of the season, if you like. Obviously, scored a bit of a lucky free kick, but a free kick in the Champions League qualifier, and then probably still one of our, even if it wasn't an obvious goal, but one of our better goals of the season away at Easter Road when Barisic switched it in and scored a header. I like what I saw of Tom Lawrence at the start of last season. Hopefully, he can sort of replicate it coming into this season.
Where would you play him?
That's some question, isn't it? I've played in that midfield. I think I'd play him if you're going with the shape that Bill's gone with at the moment. It's been the 2-3s with the one sort of sitting. I think you'd play Lawrence in that right-hand side of the middle of the three, sort of, if you like that. If you're number 8, you're sort of box-to-box midfielder, if you like. He likes to get up and down, look good on the ball. Also doesn't mind a tackle by the looks of things. I think he plays, wherever he plays, I think it's through the middle. I don't think he's got that sort of, if you like, that raw pace to play out wide.
So you would play him more sort of Lundstrom played in the second half when he started the second half?
Yeah, that's sort of where I'd be looking to play him, sort of that up to box, not that bit of protection behind him, let him play, but let him get involved, sort of up and down position, right hand side of the midfield free.
Right. It's as good as 2 new signings, Linda.
Yeah, definitely is, Ox. I mean, Tom Lawrence, as GM said there, he went off to a flyer, and then we thought it was an injury. It was only going to be a few weeks, and then basically missed the rest of the season, didn't he? Kamar Roof, as I say, whatever we get from Kamar this season will be a bonus, Ox, as well. You know, if we can keep him fit and manage his minutes, you know, I still think he's the sort of guy that can come off the bench and make a difference as an impact player as well, Roof. Not all players can actually do that. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets some game time, does he then keep himself fit? Because he's probably somebody that wouldn't be playing even like two games in a row, never mind 2 full games in a row, something similar to maybe what we're going to do with Ryan Jack this season as well, because I know he wasn't in the match day squad, wasn't he not? So he's got enough quality there, hopefully, and enough players there that he can manage the game time a wee bit better, because over the last couple of seasons, Ox, we've been over-reliant in certain players, haven't we?
Aye. The competition's got to be fierce, Jeff, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, Ox. And that's a very, very good point. It is going to be fierce because Tom Lawrence, I mean, a fit Tom Lawrence is he'll be vying for he would be front of the queue. He is such a clever player, Ox. I mean, he showed it in the short period of time we got to see him last season. Contributes with goals. He's got a right good shot on him for the edge of the box. He just sees stuff. He's again a very, very handy player to have in your team, and he won't be far away from your starting 11 every week, Ox, if he's fit and he's on form. And that's what it's going to come down to, is the depth of squad, which Michael Beale does seem to be adding to, getting the numbers right, and that's got to be commended at this stage of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think he can play a few positions, Tom Lawrence, so I think that's going to be important for players, GM, getting on the pitch. Yeah?
Yeah, obviously the more positions you can play, the more useful you are to the manager. But like you say, I mean, if you took every midfielder and attacker we've got fit, I wouldn't like to put money on who's going to be, if you like, the front six in that team. And considering we don't know what shape the manager's going to play, there's so many different options.
So if you put him on the right and Raskin sitting, where are you playing Campbell?
It's a good question. You're going to maybe, I know you've tried the last time a few times in that sort of right wing position, which I don't think is his best position. I like him getting the ball where he can play in the middle of the pitch, but maybe on that left-hand side of the midfield free, but then some people might say that's a little bit too attacking. I'm not too sure, but I'm no doubt Todd Campbell is definitely in my starting 11, so you'll have to fit Lawrence around him, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I agree. Linda?
Yeah, definitely. Cantwell's a first name in the team sheet for me, along with young Raskin. And as we said there, it's fitting the players all round about. You'll maybe have sort of 6 players perhaps that would be sort of automatic first picks, and then you're fitting everyone else around depending on the type of game that you're playing as well, Ox. You mentioned young Hadji there as well. Has he been playing a bit more of a deeper role? And he was another one I thought that if an offer came in for Hadji, is that one that we would maybe take as well, because where do you see him getting his minutes?
All right, I think we've been joined by Dougal. How are we doing, Dougal?
I am all right. Aye. My worry, like I spoke about before, is like the left-hand side, Tavernier, is like a mistake. I know everybody loves him, but we need back three. We need a strong back three. You know, Tav is pretty no good. To be honest, I'm sick of him.
All right, well, we've only two friendlies, mate. So, Linda,
I can't listen. I can. It's only listen. It's early days. I am a hater, Tav. But Seema as well. He's another one. Early days. No clue. No idea what to do. So then again, I think it's a back three. To be honest, I want Tav out the team. So.
well, you
That's
made your point now. You heard about trying to change the record. Jaffa?
Dougal, I think you're on the magic roundabout.
Oh, mate. Well, it's just my opinion.
You can't take Tavernier out the team, Dougal. Nobody
Aye,
that
you
goals
can.
he contributes.
No, but you
Nah.
need.
Aye, you can.
You need a wee bit of bounce, a wee bit of Zebedee.
He scores. He scores penalties, right, and the odd free kick. But apart from that, he does zero.
Well,
That's a fact. That's a fact. Defending wise, he is absolute garbage, right? And
Well, Dougal makes a point. Look, Tav's not going to be answering to everybody going forward, is he? Yeah, but we'll have to see where it goes and whether the manager trusts him. We've brought in John Sterling, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, is Tav going to be answering 2-3 years' time? No, but I mean, a right back that's providing his amount of goals, his amount of assists, his experience, and everyone forgets when our injuries, he's constant in the team. He's hardly ever injured. James, if you're looking for problems for last season, James Tavernier isn't one of them. That's for sure.
No, he gets a lot. We'll critique every game, Linda, as we see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does serve the odd hour.
Yeah. There's no doubt. Yeah, no doubt about it, Ox. You know, his defensive part of his game isn't the strongest part of his game. But we've talked about this before. Fullbacks, that's what they seem to be nowadays. I know Big Dujon said that his defending is what he does first and foremost. But there you go. He's a new signing and he's injured. And Tavernier isn't injured. Tavernier's there and he's good.
You're right, Tavernier kicks him, or is that what you're saying?
Maybe that's what it was.
Anyway, we'll also be joined by Smurf, Ian and Smurf.
Hi, evening, everybody.
Hi, Smurf.
Hi, Smurf.
All right, mate. How are you doing? I just what was listening to Zebedee there. Was
he forgets that night in Florence, doesn't he?
Exactly.
this kid going for a while.
No, look. See the way Michael Beale's been shaping up his team, in the pre-season fixtures. I think we can all see the flaws in it, and he seems to have given up a width of the pitch. Which, if you're playing against the lesser lights in the SPL or the SPFL, then it's a corridor for fullbacks to attack and move into. But if you're playing Champions League level football, and James Tavernier's your right back, I would suggest we're probably not going to dominate the ball, and he's going to get roasted. That's just a fact.
If we play that system, what we did against Newcastle, against a top team in the Champions League, we'd get murdered again, mate.
Oh, of course we would, aye. And I watched them in the first half against Hamburg there, and in about 10 minutes, it was 4 times that he get. It wasn't even just those possession. He get mugged for the ball 4 times, and
he turned into players, didn't he?
He did, and he was turning them into him and trying to flick a ball up across him and all that. And it's just look, you're not that good, pal. You're all right going forward, over dominate the ball. I get what Dougal was saying, but you can't just write him off either. The boy that's come in, John Sterling. Have you seen him play?
No.
So it's not like you've got something to compare it with. And it's just the point you were making earlier. That actually was my original point I was going to make. My phone up was about Connor Goldson. I think if he's fit, he's going to get the nod. He's going to be the first name in his team sheet. But I personally don't think he's as good a defender as John Souttar.
Right, that's a strange one. People might say, Giant, that Connor Goldson's a better player, but Souttar's a better defender.
Definitely. It's a fair comment.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised with how.
Carry on.
I was actually, maybe it's a bit of ignorance of not paying too much attention to the Scottish clubs before I play clubs, but I was actually pleasantly surprised of how good John Souttar actually was on the ball. I think he's actually surprised everyone the way he comes forward and whatever. But I agree here with the call that Goldson definitely plays to start with 100%. It's Souttar's shirt to go and win. Has he done much wrong now? No, but if Goldson's fit for the first game of the season, he'll be playing.
So what happens, hypothetically then, we'll go back to Smith Giant, what happens if Souttar's outstanding the first half a dozen games of the season?
I don't think it's, for me, I think Souttar's got that jersey at the moment, for me anyway, and I think also, see if you're going to, you need Davis, right? The elephant in the room is who plays in that left-hand side, and you want balance and all that. For me, Davis isn't a starter. And if you're going to play, your 2 strongest centre-back pairings are going to be Souttar and Goldson. So who are you going to play on the left? There's no moving Goldson, because Goldson can't kick the ball with his left foot.
But you've been fair to John Souttar if you do that, Jaffa?
No, you're not. You're not, because obviously neither's John Souttar. And I agree with your point, Smith. I think John Souttar's a better defender. I get your point about intercepting and actually putting his body on the line because he blocks more. He just does it naturally and he reads the game really, really quickly. And I think that's something we've been lacking between the preparing. But the organisational strength side there, I think Connor Goldson is really good at that. He's good at setting the defence up. And I'm not saying John Souttar isn't. I haven't seen enough of John Souttar doing that. I've seen a lot of Connor Goldson doing that, and I've seen him when we're out, when we're not in possession, when you're starting to defend, when you're getting turned over in the middle of the park. Connor Goldson shuffles back into position really well, and he marshals that back line. And John Souttar clearly fits into that. And I agree, the strongest pairing out of the two of them is them. But I don't know where you get the balance from. And the other question for me, and this is something I think in the league in particular, I suspect he's going to play a 3 at the back. That's what I think he's going to do. And I'm not sure who that third defender is. I'm not sure if Davies is part of that, or he's going to maybe go with a young boy Yufiko that he spoke about. I don't know what he's thinking there, but I suspect we're probably going to play 3 at the back in a lot of the league games, especially at Ibrox.
What do we get out of the 3 at the back if you still play the 2 fullbacks? You end up with 5 defenders on the pitch, Jaffa.
I think you just get more forward dogs quicker. I think I agree. I get your point, but that's not to say that he'll play with the 2 fullbacks. He might play with 4 in the middle of the park and 4 up front. Because he spoke up. One of the things he's been doing, the way I'm seeing it now.
That's 12 players.
I get it, right. That's 12 players. Right, okay, 11. I think he'll play with 2 number 10s, and that's what he's been doing. He's been playing with 2 behind the centre forward, and he's been playing really narrow. He's not really been playing with wingers.
Yeah, I get it. But where does your width come from?
It'd be your,
Four
it
in
would
the
be
middle.
your full, it would be your fullbacks, wouldn't it? I think you would sacrifice. I think you would play two in midfield in that situation, and I think you'd be looking at your. I think you'd have Goldson in the right, you'd have Davis in the left, and Big Soapy in the middle, and then you'd be expecting Goldson or Davis to step out into midfield. Your width would come for your fullbacks, and if you're going to play that system, you're no playing it in Europe. You're playing it in the SPL, and if you're going to do that, I think you've got to play two up front.
It'll be interesting to see if then even Europe if we develop towards a 3-5-2, Linda.
Yeah, I mean, it's all food for thought, isn't it? I mean, I know you're talking about the European games, and if we set up against, the Champions League the same way as we set up against Newcastle, you said we'd probably get hammered, Ox. But we must surely have, I know we didn't have the same calibre of player, but we didn't play obviously well at all in the Champions League, and I do think a lot of that was maybe down to the personnel, but it could have been the way that we set up as well. So hopefully we have learned, from that experience. And the two up front, he said the weekend that he played Lammers behind Dessers and Roof, didn't he? So is that a potential that we're going to have a forward two working as a partnership for a change, which is something that we had looked for in the past as well?
Yeah, and you're going to need all your players during the season to JM. You're not going to have your starting 11 and that's it every week, is it? Oh, we lost them.
Oh, no, sorry, that was no. Yeah, it's a balance, isn't it? Because we know from last season how much injuries can affect a team, and I don't think we can ever be in a position again where we're playing a online midfielder at centre back along with a teenage kid. That can't happen again if we want to be competitive.
And the Champions League.
I agree. Yeah, in the Champions League against one of the best teams in Europe. I don't think we've done well to keep it down to what we did, to be honest. But I agree with you guys. I think we will see three at the back and the five in midfield, but it can be played in two different ways. It can be attacking at home, where you get, if it's Yilmaz or Tav, crossing it into two attackers, but also in Europe, if we're playing against, your stronger teams, we might sit with a flat back five, maybe four in front of them, and just use the pace up top. It doesn't always have to be one way or the other. It could be a 3-5-2 at home and then a 5-4-1 or 5-3-2 away from home or in the Champions League.
Line of the night, Jeff, just to let you know, Big Stevie said this serviette mob and no napkins. Anyway. I think we've been joined by Southside. Evening, Southside.
Evening, Trips. How's everybody? All right?
All right, mate. How are you, mate?
Aye, it was all right.
Mate.
I heard there was a new competition starting, so thought we'd get in there first,
All right, mate. You fancy your chances?
Against you, no bother, mate. You know that. I heard you praying earlier. I thought you were going to introduce me as Brian the Snail there or something. Come on, but aye. So you fancy your chances, do you, Yorkshire?
Oh yes, mate. Always. I think your pedigree and your form ain't particularly great, is it?
But my Scottish team's done well wearing the English Premiership team, so I quite fancy that one.
Oh, be interesting. You'll be the man to beat, is that what you're saying?
I'll tell you, it'll be done in 6 weeks, Jaffa.
Oh, dear.
I like it, mate.
A bit of fun, Southside, eh?
Aye, it's good, and we'll get money to charity as always, Ox. That's the benefit for what we do it for, innit? For any time we raise money, it always goes to charity.
Yeah.
I was just listening to what you were saying about John Suter there and Ben
see
Davis. John Suter's fit, Ben Davis is fit, Connor Goldston, you're only talking about what he used to be able to do. It's another season. He's picked up injury after injury. He's not going to be fit and ready. I don't think you'll maybe chance him like Kilmarnock, and then you think you're going to throw him into a European qualifier.
No, I don't think we'll see Golson. But
I don't think so either.
With him, there's some bizarre things in it. He's come back for injury right in the team,
Aye, we know that he can play on the right-hand side. He's never going to go on the left. But if John Suter wants to play in his natural position, it is on the right-hand side. And if he's playing well, he keeps the jersey.
Michael Beale said he can't guarantee anybody a game. So we'll see if he's got favourites or no going forward, and he shouldn't have.
Giant.
Get the jersey on merit.
Giant.
I think Southside makes a fair point now.
First thing first, Giant, are you going to beat him in the last man standing?
You'd like to think so going on last year, wouldn't you? But you never know. Could get a bad bit of luck.
Carry on.
No, I think he makes a good point. Especially, I don't think, even if he was coming back fit, I don't think you're playing a guy who's just coming back from injury on a plastic pitch, do you? So I don't think you'll see him, even if he was fit and ready to go, I don't think you'll see him at Rugby Park. But just got a funny feeling they'll have in the back of the head that they want to get him fit for these European qualifiers because, you know, he is seen as a real senior player. If not after Tav, maybe the most senior in that squad.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, if John Suter's playing well, people would argue it's his jersey to lose.
Yeah, I would agree, Ox. If he continues to play the way that he's been playing. As Southside said, you know, Connor's had a couple of injuries now. But he has got this habit of getting himself fit ahead of schedule, and we normally just play him right away. So it wouldn't surprise you if he does throw him in. But I would tend to go with what we've got just now, as long as, you know, Suter's continuing to play okay. He's fit just now. And definitely for the Killie game on that plastic pitch, you would think that we wouldn't be risking some Goldson on that. And then we'll see when we get to the 8th or 9th of August for the first qualifier. You're talking about another 3 weeks, so you never know with Goldson.
No, that'll be interesting to see where he is. They say he's ahead of schedule. Southside, where do you stand? And I know you've just come in. I've been talking about centre halves and have a pop up at the last man standing, but where do you stand on the new players' first impressions?
I think Seema worked hard. I think you can see he's got a bit about him. I think if we probably bring him off the flank, you maybe see more of him. I think Lammers looks good technically. He works hard. He looks as if he's got a bit about him. He could shoot with both feet. I watched him in the warm-up on the Saturday there, and he was banging them in full angles, you know. So it looks like he'll probably produce something when the season starts for us in the league if he's running about the box. And I think Kieran Dowell done a power of work again on Saturday. I think he does plenty of running, plenty of tackling. He'll work hard. So I've liked to look at him as well, Ox.
Oh, okay. So generally what you're seeing that there's potential there with the new signings. Are there potential?
I think, you can see that they've all got a bit of something, and we can see in the further up the park, they'll look like we've got players that will get in the box and can play 1-2s and can shoot more than we've had in the last wee while. So it looks promising. It's just about Michael Beale fitting them into the team. I mean, we heard Jaffa talking earlier, and even somebody else try to pick a team. It will be hard, but one or two you might think might start, might no, and you never know. You could go to Kilmarnock and Sakala could be playing up front with Dessers. It might be the way he sees it on the day. I don't know, but it's good that we've got variations of different types of players, Ox, and it's a freshness about the squad, and that's what we look for. And I think when we create the chances, hopefully we've got the right players that we've bought that will finish them.
I'm no one for spreading rumours. However, a little birdie tells me that somebody we know was at hospitality for the Saturday's game, but was upstage with his big mug. Is there any truth in this rumour?
What the two is, we're slumming it, you mean?
No. You were slumming it and somebody else was laughing at you.
There's a truth in the rumour that we both had a bit of hospitality, and he sort of upstaged me a bit, but yes. We bumped into each other.
I wonder how he managed to get his suit at the pond so quick.
Yeah, see if you'd seen it, it was definitely wasn't his anyway. I can tell you that. You realised that when he tried it on, but you see that he had to take it. He had to go with it, mate, I'm afraid.
Right, okay. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Jaffa, it's shaping up to be that we don't know our first 11, and I think that's how it should be in pre-season.
Absolutely, Ox, and I think the manager, that was one of the things I think he's tried to do, was add a bit of depth and obviously a lot of starting positions were needing replaced. And I think at this point in time where we are, I think he's ahead of the game. He seems to, on the surface, have done that. Obviously, look, it's always difficult because it's pre-season. At the end of the day, they're training matches that we're playing. We're not in competition yet, and we will be shortly. But on the surface of it, it looks like he's got, as Southside said, a fantastic variation up front, in particular in the attacking areas. And that was the thing that he kept identifying at the end of the season last year. He kept saying we were wasteful, we were wasting too many chances. Mm-hmm. So we need to get that clinical bit back to the game where if we've got 14 chances, especially at home at Ibrox, and we're only taking 1 or 2 of them and we're struggling for a second goal, that's why we were getting ourselves into bother rocks. We should be 3 or 4 or 5 nothing up by that time. And that's what we've got to be doing, and entertaining the fans into the bargain and playing really, really good high-tempo football. And I agree with Southside. I think on the surface of it, some of the combinations, the technical players like Tom Lawrence, Lammers, even Big Seamer, I think he does look as though he's got something about him. I think we're just going to have to find him the right position for him, whether it's coming in or whether he's outside. And outside at this moment in time doesn't look like it's a big guy's strength, but he's certainly got power and pace, Ox, that's for sure. And listen, look, we're only a few weeks into pre-season. We've got a long way to go yet.
Yeah. And Johnny, I'm just changing the subject. We'll get Southside on. I see that Aberdeen have cut their ticket allocation for away fans to 300. Yeah.
Yeah, that's disappointing again.
Itself to death, mate.
I don't get what they're trying to do. I think it also shows how it's being governed, doesn't it? Because even if you put on Sky or put a game on the telly and you see a championship game of football, the crowds are full. And the standard of football isn't much better, but it just looks better because it's full. They're turning on the telly and you're watching, you've got Rangers or even them in a game and the stadiums are half empty. It's not a good habit for Scottish football, kills the atmosphere, and also, surely these teams are only killing themselves with the money as well.
Yeah. Well, it said 3,000 and up, so I think they're having a bit of a ban maybe Hearts, but Southside it's getting mental, isn't it?
How many did you say they cut it to?
300.
Aberdeen away?
Mm-hmm.
That means we'll need to run through the catering again then to get into the terracing. Oh, here we go. Oh, well. Need to find a TNT jacket. But aye, they just absolutely kill it, didn't they? But it is what it is. They used to remember when we were doing the leagues, it was going to be sell out Saturdays. That's what they were telling us.
Yep, they'll need us again, Southside, when they need the money. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Make their tune famous for a day when the famous Glasgow Rangers come to town.
I saw about the Blue Pound.
It's mental. It's mental, Smurf, isn't it? Absolutely.
Nah, it's nuts. It's nuts. Aye. I was just sitting there listening to Suicide talking about, finishing and getting, being wasteful in front of goal. And I think with that in mind, I still think if Roof is fit, form, I think he'll still be the best player, the best striker we've got, and the best option for a goal. So I think you'll be. I think hopefully if he stays fit, he'll have a season to remember. And the highlight for me in the pre-season games was young Bailey Rice. You see, he's got all the potential in the world, that boy.
Well, I don't know. I think the highlight might have been Big Stevie trying to put his napkin on Saturday.
It certainly didn't work because I seen him after it. And it
was listen, young Bailey Rice has got a chance. Yeah, let's just give the boy a bit of time, not too much pressure, Linda, and let him grow. And, he's got a chance.
Yeah, he's definitely got a chance.
And he's one of us, Linda.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely one of us. Absolutely, Oxen. He looks really assured, doesn't he? Well beyond his years. I think he's not 17 until, what did Michael Beale say, October? Definitely one of us. Used to see him running about in his wee Ranger strip. So high hopes for him. But as you say, we need to don't put a lot of pressure on him and, definitely hopefully we'll see more of him. Might get a few wee cameos, maybe even some of the cup games. But in saying that, Ox, there's a lot of pressure on us to win cup games this year, isn't there? So it's when do you give them a chance?
Yeah, you can maybe get games on the bench and be brought on at the right time.
Yeah.
If we blow teams away, Jaffa, you can get them on 20 minutes, half an hour.
That's definitely the most secure time to do it, Ox. But at the end of the day, Michael Beale, that's the great thing. Michael Beale he'll be telling these young players this, but he can back it up, because it's one thing about Michael Beale I'll say about him. He's not frightened to bring young players into the system. And if they're good enough, is again, just going back to Echo Southside's words, if they're good enough, they're old enough to get a game. I've got no doubt if the young lad's shown it in training, and he definitely does have something about him, but you've always got to nurture these young guys, because it's tough coming into that world. Everything that's going on round about them and the structure that's going on round about them. But he looks a real talent. He looks really, really good. Fingers crossed. And I think we all have seen one of our own coming through the academy, don't we?
Yeah, they say that's the hardest level to coach at under 17s, GM, and only the cream can do it.
I think it's all about the luck of the players you have, isn't it?
All right, we'll see about that. We'll see how he gets on, young Bailey. We wish him all the best, and he has got a chance. You see ahead of Lowry in the south side, bizarrely. Oh,
sorry, missed that, Ox.
Is young Bailey ahead of Alex Lowry in there?
See, to be honest, Ox, I don't think you'll get much game time, young Bailey, anyway. But it's good to see him. He's got something about him. You can see the way he takes the ball and the way he sort of takes it across his body. He's always got good vision. His head's always up. But I just think it's too big a season. But I hope he can get some game time at some point. But I don't see it.
9 subs, you can maybe get him on the bench, yeah.
Aye, the more he's about the first team training and playing with him and all that, certainly develop him a lot better. But you'll be limited.
Well, on you go, Smith. On you go, mate.
I think, by virtue of the position he plays in midfield, he's got more scope to get game time than Lowry. I think Lowry's got too much competition. But it remains to be seen, it's whether, as you say, if he nurses him along and he gives him the opportunity. Here's hoping, anyway.
Well, we've reached that time of evening. Smurf, always good to hear from you, mate.
Aye, thank you. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, speak to you soon, brah.
Take care.
Yeah, Southside, thanks for popping in, mate.
No worries. Can't wait to get this last man standing. You're getting it this season, boy.
Easy.
You're getting it. The listeners will know it all. Ox is getting spanked by Southside. Right, thanks for letting us pop in. I'll catch up with you later. Yeah.
What do you do in my private life? Nothing to do with the listeners.
Right, I'm away.
Everyone and anyone.
I'm off now. I'm living any risk, carry on. Right, catch you later, guys.
See you later, Southside.
GM, well done. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks very much for having me. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yep, part of the young team. We're sure your colleagues will be with us soon, yeah?
Yeah, we've got a new young team in town trying to pass stuff up, so we'll see how we get on.
Yeah, they're not very bright, but they're young, Linda.
Oh, I'm sure they're fine. Absolutely great tonight. Well done, GM, as Ox said. Great being on, Ox, with Jaffa, your good self. Great show, lots of good talking points. Looking forward to the new season.
Jaffa.
Yep, brilliant, JM. Well done, pal, and great first show. And thanks for being on, Melinda. And as always, yourself, Ox. And just to finish off by saying, just to remind all the listeners that Rangers Radio is completely free, and that's why we do it, for the love of the Glasgow Rangers.
Yeah, and I am going to scalps outside at the last man standing. Right. Listen, thanks to Dougal, thanks to Gary, thanks to young Gary, your GB, for popping in as well. Thanks to Smurf, and thanks to Southside for joining us. Thanks to Jaffa, and thanks to Linda for doing the show, and more importantly, young GIM He's making his first show tonight. Thanks to him. I hope you enjoyed it, and he'll be back soon. Thanks to Fox, supported by Old School Blue doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back an hour before the kick-off with our first pre-match show of the season as we build up to the last of the home pre-season friendlies on Wednesday. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, everybody. Take it away, Foxy boy.